In the shadowy realm of global incarceration, certain prisons stand out for their notorious reputations, harsh conditions, and the extreme measures taken to contain the most dangerous individuals. These facilities are not just centers of confinement. They are institutions where the very fabric of human rights is often tested and strained. From the supermax cells of the United States to the brutal labor camps of Russia, these prisons exemplify the severe and often inhumane conditions faced by inmates. The following analysis delves into some of the world's most infamous prisons, exploring the lives of those incarcerated within their walls, the daily routines that break the human spirit, and the relentless security measures that define their operations. Bangkok Confinement Center, El Salvador. El Salvador's mega prison, officially known as the Terrorism Confinement Center, CCOT, is one of the most controversial and heavily guarded prisons in the world. Located in Tecoluca, this facility spans 410 acres and includes 8 cell blocks within its 57-acre physical complex. It was constructed as part of President Nayib Bukele's aggressive campaign against gang violence, primarily targeting the infamous gangs MS-13 and Barrio 18, which have been responsible for much of the country's violence since the end of the Salvadoran Civil War. The prison was built to house up to 40,000 inmates, making it the largest prison by capacity worldwide. Inmates are subjected to strict security measures upon entry, including thorough body scans and rigorous registration processes to record their personal and criminal information. The facility is heavily fortified with a 15,000-volt electric fence, barbed wire, and 19 guard towers. Inside CCOT, conditions are harsh. Each cell is designed to hold over 100 inmates, but contains only 2 toilets and 2 washing basins. Inmates are provided minimal personal space, averaging just 0.6 square meters per person. They sleep on bunks without mattresses, and their daily routine includes 30 minutes of shackled exercise and work in the prison's factory. The cells are monitored continuously by CCTV, and the environment is controlled to prevent any form of contraband or escape attempts. Meals are basic, consisting of rice, beans, pasta, and hard-boiled eggs, which they must eat with their hands as utensils are prohibited to prevent their use as weapons. Prisoners wear white uniforms and have their heads shaved every 5 days. Even water access is controlled by guards. The inmates predominantly belong to MS-13 and Barrio 18, 2 of the most notorious gangs in Central America. Many inmates are incarcerated for homicides, often related to gang conflicts and territorial disputes. Gang members frequently extort money from businesses and individuals, threatening violence if payments are not made. Both gangs are deeply involved in the drug trade, moving narcotics across borders and within communities. Gang members sometimes engage in kidnapping for ransom as a means to fund their activities. Violence within CCOT is a significant concern, driven by the rivalry between MS-13 and Barrio 18. Fights between members of different gangs are common, often resulting in serious injuries or deaths. The high level of animosity between these groups makes any shared space a potential flashpoint. The prison's strict regime includes severe disciplinary measures for rule violations. Solitary confinement is used as a punishment, where inmates are placed in small, dark cells with minimal amenities. Reports indicate that prison guards use excessive force to maintain control, sometimes leading to violence against inmates. This includes physical beatings and other forms of punishment designed to enforce compliance. The prison has become notorious not only for its size and security, but also for the severe living conditions and the allegations of human rights abuses. Critics argue that Bukele's iron fist approach, which includes mass arrests and extended states of emergency that suspend basic rights, has led to wrongful detentions and police brutality. Human rights organizations have reported instances of overcrowding, lack of due process, and inhumane treatment of inmates. The conditions have sparked international concern, with reports of prisoners being stacked closely together on the floor before being moved to their cells. Despite these criticisms, a significant portion of the Salvadoran population supports Bukele's measures, crediting them with reducing gang violence and improving public safety. However, there are also accusations that the government has manipulated crime statistics and engaged in covert deals with gangs to maintain an image of success in its anti-crime efforts. C-Cut stands as a symbol of El Salvador's extreme measures to combat gang violence, reflecting both the dire security challenges the country faces and the contentious methods employed to address them. ADX Florence, the Alcatraz of the Rockies. ADX Florence, officially known as the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility, is a supermax prison located in Florence, Colorado. It is renowned for its stringent security measures and the extreme isolation imposed on its inmates, making it one of the harshest prisons in the world. ADX Florence is designed to house the most dangerous criminals in the U.S. federal prison system. Its population includes terrorists, high-profile gang leaders, spies, and inmates who have committed violent crimes within other prisons. Notable inmates have included Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, a domestic terrorist who conducted a nationwide bombing campaign; Ramzi Youssef, mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing; Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, one of the perpetrators of the Boston Marathon bombing; Robert Hansen, FBI agent turned spy for the Soviet Union; Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, infamous Mexican drug lord and leader of the Sinaloa cartel. These individuals represent the high-risk population that ADX Florence is designed to contain, ensuring that they are completely isolated from society and unable to continue their criminal activities. The conditions at ADX Florence are some of the most stringent and isolating in the world. Inmates are kept in their cells for 23 hours a day, with 1 hour allotted for exercise in a small enclosed area. These cells measure approximately 7 by 12 feet and are constructed from poured concrete, which reduces any chances of escape. Interaction with other inmates is virtually non-existent. Contact with guards is minimal and conducted through secured means to prevent any form of assault or escape. The cells are designed to be soundproof, preventing inmates from communicating with each other by shouting or tapping on the walls. Cells contain a concrete bed, desk, and stool, along with a stainless steel combination toilet and sink. Each cell has a small slit of a window, allowing minimal natural light. Movement is highly controlled, with inmates escorted by multiple guards and often shackled during any movement outside their cells. All activities, including visits and communications, are monitored closely. The severe isolation measures lead to significant psychological stress. Inmates experience profound sensory deprivation, which can lead to severe mental health issues over time. The prison's security measures are unparalleled, designed to eliminate any risk of escape or violence. This includes extensive use of surveillance cameras, motion detectors, and pressure pads. The presence of some of the most dangerous and notorious criminals adds to the prison's infamy. The stories and crimes of these inmates contribute to the prison's fearsome reputation. There have been numerous reports and lawsuits alleging human rights abuses, including prolonged solitary confinement and inadequate mental health care. Critics argue that the conditions at ADX Florence amount to cruel and unusual punishment, leading to calls for reform. ADX Florence is often cited as one of the worst prisons due to its combination of extreme isolation, stringent security, and the high-risk inmate population. The psychological impact of solitary confinement, coupled with the lack of meaningful human interaction, creates an environment that is profoundly challenging for inmates. This, coupled with the high-profile nature of its inmates and the rigorous security measures, solidifies its reputation as a facility designed for the worst of the worst. ADX Florence stands as a testament to the lengths the U.S. prison system will go to secure the most dangerous individuals. While it effectively neutralizes threats posed by these high-risk inmates, it also raises significant ethical and human rights questions about the treatment of those incarcerated within its walls. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia's most secure penitentiary. Black Dolphin Prison, officially known as Penal Colony No. 6, is located near the Kazakhstan border in Orenburg, Russia. It is infamous for its stringent security measures, harsh conditions, and the dangerous inmates it houses. This facility has gained a notorious reputation for being one of the toughest and most oppressive prisons in the world. Black Dolphin houses the most dangerous criminals in Russia. The inmate population includes serial killers. Many of Russia's most infamous serial killers are incarcerated here. Murderers. Those convicted of multiple homicides are commonly sent to Black Dolphin. Terrorists. High-profile terrorists who have carried out or planned significant attacks. Cannibals. individuals convicted of heinous acts of cannibalism, pedophiles and rapists, offenders with severe and violent sexual crimes. Inmates at Black Dolphin have collectively been responsible for the deaths of around 3,500 people. Each inmate is deemed extremely dangerous, requiring the highest level of security and isolation. The conditions in Black Dolphin are exceptionally harsh and are designed to break the spirit of the inmates. Inmates are monitored 24/7 through surveillance cameras. Guards check on inmates every 15 minutes, ensuring no chance of escape or unauthorized activities. Inmates follow a rigid daily schedule with no variation. They are woken up at 6 a.m. and remain in their cells for the majority of the day, with very limited time allowed outside for exercise. The cells are small and contain only the basic necessities. Each cell has a bed, a table, a stool, and a toilet. The windows are positioned high up, allowing only minimal natural light. When inmates are allowed outside for exercise, they are blindfolded and shackled to prevent them from understanding the layout of the prison, further reducing the risk of escape. Black Dolphin's reputation stems from its extreme measures and the severity of the crimes committed by its inmates. The psychological and physical conditions are designed to suppress any hope or spirit. Inmates are isolated and deprived of any semblance of comfort or normalcy. The prison's security measures are exceptionally stringent. Inmates are blindfolded and shackled during any movement to ensure they cannot map the prison's layout. This level of control over the inmates' movements and environment adds to the prison's fearsome reputation. The sheer number of high-profile, violent criminals housed in Black Dolphin adds to its infamy. The prison is seen as a place where Russia contains its most uncontrollable and dangerous individuals. Documentaries and media reports have highlighted the extreme conditions and the profiles of the inmates, bringing international attention to the harsh realities of life inside Black Dolphin. Inmates experience profound isolation, with minimal human contact and constant surveillance. This isolation can lead to severe psychological distress and deterioration. The prison's design and routines are meant to strip inmates of any comfort or dignity. The lack of natural light, the small and sparse cells, and the relentless routine all contribute to a crushing environment. The overbearing security measures, including the use of blindfolds and shackles, create an atmosphere of perpetual control and intimidation. The presence of highly dangerous and notorious criminals adds a layer of tension and fear within the prison, both for the inmates and the staff. Black Dolphin Prison stands as a symbol of Russia's uncompromising approach to dealing with its most dangerous criminals. The combination of severe isolation, strict security, and harsh living conditions make it one of the most feared and notorious prisons in the world. This facility effectively neutralizes the threats posed by its inmates, but raises significant ethical and human rights concerns regarding the treatment of those incarcerated within its walls. Bangkok Central Prison, the Bangkok Hilton. Bangkok Central Prison, colloquially known as the Bangkok Hilton, is one of Thailand's most notorious maximum security prisons. Located in Nonthaburi province, just north of Bangkok, this facility has gained an infamous reputation due to its harsh conditions and the severe treatment of its inmates. Bangkok houses a mix of inmates, including death row inmates. The prison is known for housing a significant number of inmates on death row, awaiting execution by lethal injection. Drug offenders. A large portion of the prison population consists of individuals convicted of drug-related offenses, reflecting Thailand's stringent drug laws. Foreign nationals. Many foreigners convicted of various crimes in Thailand end up in Bangkok, adding to the prison's international notoriety. Violent offenders. The prison also holds individuals convicted of serious violent crimes such as murder and armed robbery. Conditions in Bangkok are notoriously harsh, contributing to its fearsome reputation. The prison is severely overcrowded, with inmates often living in cramped and unsanitary conditions. Upon arrival, inmates are shackled for the first 3 months of their imprisonment. In the past, death row inmates were permanently shackled until execution. Cells are sparsely furnished, typically containing only a concrete bed and a bucket for a toilet. Inmates must purchase their own bedding and other essentials. Medical care is minimal, and access to necessary medications and treatments is often limited, exacerbating health issues among inmates. The daily life of inmates at Bangkok is marked by monotony and strict control. Inmates follow a rigid daily schedule that includes roll calls, meals, and limited exercise time. Activities are closely monitored by the prison staff. Many inmates are required to perform labor, such as producing goods for sale. This work is often grueling and poorly compensated. Family visits are limited and conducted under strict supervision. Inmates are allowed brief visits, typically separated by glass partitions. The prison is known for its harsh disciplinary measures. Inmates can face severe punishments for infractions, including solitary confinement and physical abuse. Reports of corruption among prison staff are common, with allegations of bribery and mistreatment of inmates adding to the prison's grim reputation. Human rights organizations have repeatedly criticized the prison for its inhumane conditions and treatment of inmates, including inadequate healthcare, poor nutrition, and the use of shackles. Bangkok's status as one of the worst prisons in the world is rooted in its combination of harsh conditions, severe overcrowding, and the treatment of inmates. The initial period of shackling and the overall harsh conditions contribute to significant psychological stress and deterioration among inmates. The overcrowded and unsanitary living conditions, combined with inadequate health care, lead to widespread health problems. The prison's stringent security measures, including the use of shackles and severe disciplinary actions, create an oppressive environment. The numerous reports of human rights violations, including corruption and abuse by prison staff, highlight systemic issues within the facility. Bangkok Central Prison exemplifies the extreme end of the spectrum in terms of prison conditions and treatment of inmates. Its notorious reputation is built on a foundation of severe overcrowding, harsh disciplinary measures, and widespread human rights abuses. This facility serves as a stark reminder of the potential for inhumane conditions within the global prison system, particularly for those incarcerated under the harshest regimes. The exploration of these notorious prisons reveals a stark reality. The quest for security and punishment often comes at a high cost to human dignity and mental health. Facilities like ADX Florence, Black Dolphin Prison, and Bangkok Central Prison exemplify the extreme measures taken to contain those deemed too dangerous for society. Yet, they also highlight critical issues regarding human rights, the psychological impacts of extreme isolation, and the moral implications of such harsh penal systems. As we reflect on these institutions, it becomes clear that the conversation about prison reform and humane treatment of inmates is not just necessary, but urgent. These prisons serve as a powerful reminder of the need to balance security with compassion and justice with humanity.